have music that plays with no words, brings up such beautiful images in our mind's eye. Thank you, Glenn. That was beautiful. I'd like you to imagine that you have a seat belt. You guys are used to these. You get them in a car and you have a seat belt. You get on the plane and they ask you, and they show you how to put the seat belt on, which I always wonder about. It's like, really? Really? Okay, I want you to imagine you have a part of your seat belt on the left. Do you see it there by your seat? Part of your seat belt's on the right. I want you to buckle that spiritual seat belt right now. Just tuck it in there. Buckle it up. You know how to do it. Get ready. Thank you, God. Faith will power us. That's our series. Let's say it together. Faith will power us. Faith, will, imagination, love, life, power, order, wisdom, enthusiasm, release, understanding, and strength. There are within you 12 distinct attributes. It's just a modality. It's just a mechanism to remind you that you have within you all that you need, all that you could ever need, every tool at hand where the kingdom resides within you, to employ, to use this day to move you in greater beauty and sense of grace than you've ever experienced before. Today we look at the power of imagination. God has given us all these faculties, and this power of imagination, I've had so much fun with it this week. It's the power in you to shape, to picture, to envision. Shakti Gawain in the 70s had a book. Do you remember that? You guys probably have it on your shelves still. Creative visualization, right? That amazing aspect, that faculty within you, that is the creative tool that behind everything you say and everything you do, there is a thought. And that thought always evokes an image. And as you and I are aware of that, we shift the color our life takes on. The tone of voice shifts. And it's a powerful, powerful tool to have. In Genesis 1, in the very beginning of the Bible, it talks about the power of imagination. It says this, in the beginning. That's the imaging place. It means at the very front of everything that happens in your life, in the beginning, God said, let us, this is really cool, let us make man, humankind, in our image and after our likeness. So God created man in his own image, male and female, he created them. Whew, can I get a big sigh? Yeah. What that means to me and can mean to you today is that the divine feminine and the divine masculine were given us, that hemispherosity of what it is to be a complete and total being, which is what you are, a spiritual being having a spiritual experience right here, right now. So that male and female of you are aspects of the divinity, of your totality. And you are utterly sacred. Breathe that in. I am utterly sacred. Imagining is essential to the life that you choose to live. And you are living the life that you choose to live whether you're consciously choosing it or not. But here in Unity, we're all about being conscious of bringing that up into our awareness and shining the light of God that we are on whatever is taking place. No, you don't even have to do anything other than shine the light of God on it, and God, the universe, immediately works in your behalf, on your behalf, to hold the highest up. What happens is you evoke things through your mind's eye. So imagining is the ability to imagine things that are not yet real, quote unquote. We call things, isn't it fascinating? We say things are real if we can see them. Ha! Things are temporal if we can see them. Things are moving into another form, shifting if we can see them and we just catch a glimpse of them. For a moment, they're in our life experiences. They are as we are being transformed. So imagining is the ability to picture something that has not yet been seen. It has not yet been experienced. we have a choice about how we imagine it to be, and as we imagine it to be, it will become. This is Brain Science 101. You all signed up for this course. Thank you for being in class today. This is how it works. It's just a circle. It starts here with your conclusion. This is the thought you're holding, what you're imagining to be true, right there. And whatever you're holding, because this is a yin-yang universe, you've got all the evidence to support what you're holding that there could be. There's 100, if this is a negative conclusion you're holding, I can't, I don't, I won't, something like that, la 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 la, the songs we sing. Anybody here? Don't raise your hand, it's okay, I'll do it for you. Yeah. That conclusion, boom, from whatever you're holding can be positive, negative. Your mind immediately seeks evidence to support that conclusion. And you will find evidence because there's 100% of the negative and 100% of the positive to support what you're saying and doing and thinking. Right? Boom. You get the evidence and you behave like that. And when you behave like that, others behave like that, and it goes right up to support your conclusion. Whoa, that's how our life goes, right? So this is so cool because all we ever need to do is know the truth, and we're set free. Shift the conclusion to what it is you want to experience in your life, what you believe to be true. That's what John Lennon invites us into with that song, right? Imagine no religion. Imagine no sense of separation whatsoever. Imagine that world. And does that world exist? Yes. Within you, it is the peace that passes all understanding. James Allen, who is a British philosopher who was a contemporary of Charles and Myrtle Filmore, lived in the late 1800s, early 1900s, wrote a book called As a Man Thinketh. Small book, full, fraught with amazing information. And it says this: mind is the master power that molds and makes, and man is mind. And evermore he takes the tools of thought and shapes what he wills, brings forth 1,000 joys, 1,000 ills. He thinks in secret, and it comes to pass. Environment is but his looking glass. Quantum physicist that you may know of, a quantum physicist by the name of Albert Einstein, said this: imagination is more important than knowledge. So this power that we're looking at today, that you are entertaining today, and that you're going to be hyper aware of this week as you choose what you're imagining, is critically important to our experience. In Unity, we say where our thought goes, our energy flows. And I'm going to illustrate to you how quickly that is true in our lives, how creatively and how quickly that is true. You may have thought this was like a heavy thing up here. This is actually almost lighter than air. It has a name, it's called the earth ball. So I am just going to throw this out and see, whoa, Bill! Give that back to Bill. He wants to hit that up in the air. I bet you anything. Woo-hoo-hoo! Okay then, yes, here it comes. Back into the source. Are we having fun? Thank you. Jody's having fun. All right, so I want somebody to be willing to stop the ball. Somebody stop and hold the ball. Thank you. And your name is? Jenny? Jenny, we've been playing with that ball, and in our life experience, it feels like there's a lot of balls up in the air. And we just bandy them around. We're not sure we can even keep them all in the air. And I'd like to ask for you to take that same ball, and if you will, hold it in the most sacred way in your hands. Jenny, would you visualize peace? A peace that passes all imagination, all understanding. And holding that peace now in your mind's eye, Jenny, if you'd move it into your heart, and through your body systemically, through your hands, through the palms of your hands, into that ball that represents Mother Gaia, that from which we receive all our nourishment in physical form, the sphere that is at the epicenter of our lives, that grounds us, that gives us the mobility to move and move it out into the cosmology, whatever that cosmology is for you, out into the multiverse. Thank you. Let's just notice that you don't actually have to hold in your hands personally that which you are praying for. That you can, that we all were affected by Jenny's just saying, if I be lifted up, will draw all men unto me, that she just said she was willing to hold that space for the truth. And just notice how you and I went from this excited energy into this very peaceful, pensive place within us. Because one person, you, for all the people in your family, you, for all the people in your workplace, you, for all the people that are at this time holding any kind of sense of worry mentality, you, that we're willing to always be praying. It's the key that unlocks us. Because to pray is to visualize, to invoke, to call forth, to choose what we're willing to experience, and the fact is we're always praying. Always praying. Jesus was all about little children. We're all about little children. Anybody who has been a child, please raise your hand. Right? Jesus said, bring the little children to me. It's little children because the children, our child, our divine child, embodies the power of imagination. When you look at the metaphysics of the word children, it means our thoughts. Bring your thoughts to me means bring your thoughts to that God-informed place of you, to the consciousness of love and light. Bring the little children to me. He took them in his arms and said, let the little children come to me, and do not hinder them. It's an instruction to you and me. It means stop messing with your innate magnificence. Know that you are here to be the spiritual being that you already are. When I was 7 years old, and I looked at imagination and thought, well, could I share other people's experience? Imagination is, when you look at the word, it's I image. I imagine. So I share with you my own personal story. When I was 7 years old, we lived in Chicago, Park Ridge, Illinois, and my mom took me to a radio show. Now, it was a live radio show, and they played music, had musicians, a little orchestra, and what they had the children do when the music played was they asked all the children to get up, and there were a lot of us, and they asked us to walk around, march around to the music around the perimeter of the room. So I got up, and I was just, marching around the perimeter of the room. My mom had taken me all by myself, and we were having tea at one of the one of the hotels, and it was a big day for mom and daughter. So I'm out marching around, and the music stopped, and what was supposed to happen when the music stopped was you were supposed to stop marching and go join your parents, but I just kept marching. And I was marching all by myself around the room, just kept marching and marching. And the guy who was running the show said, excuse me, little girl, would you come up here, please, and just come on up here on the stage. It's a live show going out all over the nation, and he said, so, what's your name? And I said, Diane Price. And, do you have any brothers or sisters? And I said, yeah, 3 big brothers. And where do you live? And Diane, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I said without hesitation, a boy. I had been able to see where my mother was sitting earlier than that. I thought she left her seat because I think she just slunk down in there. I said, a boy. Well, let's look at that for a second. I wasn't saying that I want to be different than I am. The metaphysics of what that means, it really is that I was saying I want to be strong. I want to be able to make clear decisions. I want to run as all my brothers are older. I want to be as big as they are in lots of ways. I want to be clear. I want to be a vessel for the Holy Spirit. I want to run like the wind. I want to let God be God in me like I see my big brothers being. There's a divine masculine and feminine aspect of us that when we call it forward is amazing. Left hemisphere, right hemisphere. Imagination calls it forward. The American transcendentalist Ralph Waldo Emerson said this: whatever we can conceive and believe, we can achieve. There's another one. It's perceive and receive. Is the light getting brighter in here, or is it my imagination? I love it. Oh, yes. In the book of John 14, and I can see it very clearly now. 14:9. He who has seen me has seen the Father. Jesus didn't mean me, the person. He knew his person was transient. In fact, he knew he wasn't going to be staying very long. He was pretty much saying to us, don't make it about me. It's in you. See the father-mother essence in you. See that. You and I can imagine a world of oneness, or we can imagine a world of separation. It's up to us. Now, this may sound absurd, but it just came to me, so I'm going to share it. What if war... We get, the moment I say war to you, we get images, don't we? What if war actually meant two sides with differing opinions, two sides who had different whatever, and they came to the battlefield, and the battlefield was a place where they threw pies at each other. And they threw pies, and then they licked the pie off, and the first one who licked the pie off, the first side, won. What if? And they said, man, we really licked them. It could happen. You heard it right here. I don't know. God just gives me these ideas. The disciple Nathaniel, Bartholomew, is the disciple that represents this power of imagination. In the Bible, there's a scene where this guy, Nathaniel, is hiding up under a fig tree. And what happens is Jesus is able to see him. He perceives him with his intuition. The place for the physical place for the power of imagination is the thalamus, which is right at the epicenter of the head, between the eyes. You know, those who would have eyes to see and ears to hear. It's that ganglionic center, the nerve center, where there are messages constantly being sent. Sensory and motory messages are constantly being sent behind the third eye. So Jesus was able to perceive out of his imagination. He could see Nathaniel there. It was as real as could be before he was actually visible. So our Nathaniel, your Nathaniel state of mind is part of you. It gives you that ability to perceive, to conceive, to receive, and to achieve whatever it is that you're holding. Bartholomew Nathaniel is known as a visionary. You're a visionary. Remember Walt Disney? Anybody here remember Walt Disney? He made an art out of it. He is still making an art out of it, and he called it something new. What did he call it? Imagineering. Using the power of imagination with technology, with engineering, and bringing it to the fore. Because your imagination will quicken anything you're holding in your mind. Is that not so? Anything you're holding in your mind. No, I have this in here somewhere. I remember when I was little, I don't know about you guys, but I had alligators under my bed. And I don't know how your bedroom was, but mine was a scary place to go. It was scary because I had, I don't know if somehow I knew I was going to move to Florida eventually. Maybe. This is in Illinois. We didn't have any alligators there, but they were all under my bed. And literally, to feel safe, to get to my bed, I would hold onto the door frame and get this rock going like I was going to do a long distance jump, and I would leap from the door sill, careful not to touch any of the flooring because that's where they lived, and I would leap onto my bed, sleep at night, and then very carefully get out of bed in the morning, checking first to make sure that they were not there. You and I bring things into being. Let's just do another little simple thing. I want you to hold your right hand out, if you would, just in front of you. It's for you. I want you to imagine a yellow lemon there. Big yellow lemon. Here's a color that you could go by. So you imagine this yellow lemon in your hand. I want you to just think about that lemon. I want you to imagine yourself biting into the lemon. I'm like just biting right into the lemon. You imagine that? Is anybody salivating? Anybody puckering? You see how real it is? What are you using your power of imagination for? Because if you would be strong and healthy and wise and lovable, then you must see. You have the opportunity to see yourself as strong and healthy and wise and lovable. It's so powerful. The power of your imagination is captivating you. Whatever it is you're holding, you've been actually, where is it? Yeah, I sold it, Dennis, thank you. Fundraiser for the church. Okay. Your imagination, thank you so much, has been feeding you. Now, sometimes I know it's been feeling like it really nurtured you and you've really, really you have felt your capability because of your power of imagination, but I would say to you also, chances are, because you're in the human realm as well, you have undermined yourself, your capabilities, and you have undermined others as well. Today's a new day. It doesn't matter what you have done, what you have imagined. Today matters. Every now moment from this point forward matters. Because we know that life is only experienced in the present moment. We're aware of that now. The great metaphysician Shakespeare said, "We find tongues in trees, books in running brooks, sermons in stones, and God in everything." May you use your power of imagination in magnificent ways. God bless you.